I should've known you were a liar when I met you. I should've known you had a secret little double life. I should've known you were the devil flying undercover. I should've known you'd
Right. Okay. So I think I've found the thing that is better than finding a fiver. I've just found half a Twix. I've just found half a Twix. It's phenomenal. Like, what more do you want out of life? I found a Twix. I found a Twix, everybody. Um, hello, good evening. Welcome to the early morning barking live stream. It's a big one as well. If you're watching on YouTube, on TikTok, hello, I'm over on YouTube right now. On youtube.com/earlymorningbarking. I got muck on me? No, it's just a shadow. Hello, everybody. Oh, the white balance is very different on both these cameras. I don't care. Whatever. Am I still live? Yes. Okay, we're good to go. Good evening, Isabel. Is this seriously? Is this just crashed? Hey, bye-bye. How are you doing? Good evening to you. I hope your Monday's going well. It's good to see you. I'm going to be kind of ignoring the TikTok people a little bit and the bizarrely high perch there. Yeah, good evening. Whew. It's been a week, hasn't it? Yeah, could be worse. Could all be worse. So that's really all we have to worry about. Good evening, Douglas. It's good to see you here. I hope you're well. It's good to see everybody here. Topics for tonight. We can talk about anything you like. We're doing BPD NPD. Obviously, that's the thing. But I'm open to whatever. You know, it's I don't like to stress. Thank you. I do take pride in my t-shirts. Do you know what? I'm on the verge of getting rid of them all. Right? I'm splitting on fashion right now. Is that a thing? It's happening. I'm splitting on fashion. On my clothing, my entire wardrobe. I've decided I've had enough of most of it, and it's time for it to go. Um, Not that I have that option, really, that I can just throw all my clothes away and buy new ones, but I want to work through it, right? I kind of, like, if you watch my videos on YouTube, I kind of spent 3 years or so wearing, like, cartoony nerd t-shirts, which are of a limited range of colours, really. I mean, the prints are colours, but it's the thing. And I made the mistake of not just wearing the same thing on YouTube. I should just always have worn the same thing on YouTube. I'm an idiot. I wore very distinctive, different shirts. So I have to cycle through them. And I have loads of them. And I get them from a place called QWERTY, which is a cool website. They're a great website. I recommend their stuff. But it's all much of a muchness. You know, it's all stuff like I wear. And it's all like white, black, blue, grey. I've got a couple of brown ones. I've got a couple of green ones. And I want some color back. Do you know what it is? I'm a 90s teenager and I miss neon. That's what it is. I'm a 90s teenager. I miss neon. I'm not dying any. I want neon t-shirts. I need to search the internet for these things now. I want neon. I want ridiculous color back. Because I am sick of pastels and like really boring colors. Everything is, yeah, what is it? You have a black, white, blue, grey, red, silver, maybe. Everything is car colors. Everything is car colors, right? I've been looking at. Hi, Dr. Ruth. Well, I am way off mental health topic here. I spent a lot of time looking at trainers. What just happened? Something happened. Hi, Christine. Welcome to the thing. Yeah, the 90s. We're into the 90s here. Um, I can't. Right. One of the things in life that I kind of like that I have to try and not think about is trainers. I want all the trainers, right? it's the kind of thing where if I allow myself to think about it, I'm just gonna want all the trainers and get upset about how I can't have all the trainers. I spend enough time looking at trainers, right? And historically, I've been a big Nike guy. They make trainers that are wide enough, comfy enough for my feet. All of this, I like Nike stuff. It's 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 good stuff. I like it, and I cannot buy a shoe. They do not sell a shoe that I want to buy right now. Do you want black, white, red, blue, grey? Like, no. No, I don't actually. And then you go to Adidas and they've got purple with yellow stripes. Now we're on something here. Adidas trainers are massively uncomfortable for my feet, but there you go. That's a problem. Everything's just so boring now. And I am just fed up of it. I want bright colours that scream like distress flare colours. Can we have colour back, please? I miss that. Yeah. But God, I could spend some money on trainers. Honestly. I want all the trainers. There's a few, do you know what it's like G-Shocks as well? I have to not think about it as much as I perhaps want to. Because I want all of them. And they're not, because they release like new ones every month. Every month, like, here's 10 new G-Shocks. Do you want these, Rich? Well, of course I fucking want those. Of course I want them all. But no human being can justify the purchase of every G-Shock watch. Or afford that, really. I mean, some can afford it, but I'm not one of those people. And yeah. And if I was spending that money on G-Shocks, it wouldn't stop there, would it? They're not the only nice watches. You know? And then, so, neon clothing. Because, right, I don't know if you're old enough to remember. And if you're not, fuck you. Really? That's where I am with it. If you don't remember years that begin with a 19, I'm a little bit, I don't like you so much. I'm just jealous. I'm just jealous. I want you to be old like me. That's the way it goes. Where are we? Hang on, bear with me. Bear with me. Here we go. I mean, this is the hoodie I need. I need a hoodie that ensures I will not get lost in the dark, and that's it, isn't it? Right there. I get neon clothing men on Amazon. Amazon, great source of fashion. Oh, you can buy things with colour. I mean, a little bit. I want that one and the green one. Or is that yellow? I don't even care. I don't even care. I do not need some braces. Glow hard or glow hard? Do you remember Global Hypercolor? Do you remember? Because that seemed like a good idea, and then it just showed everybody where you were really sweaty. Do you remember those? You know. And I am ultimately still quite jealous of the shoes that Kat got the other day. They're Skechers, and they're that color pink, right? And I want some shoes that are that brightly colored. I'd even go with the pink at this point. Oh, I need some, right. Over the coming weeks and months, I'm going to become increasingly more colorful. I've decided. Oh, you see what I'm obviously shopping for on Amazon all the time. Here are cables and tone boxes. It could have been more embarrassing. But hey. Hi TikTok people. Yes, I'm on YouTube. It is all cyberpunky. I used to have an actual cyberpunky t-shirt that had LEDs on it. Right? I had one. You've got to have one t-shirt in your life that's powered by AA, right? And so it was just like an LED screen here. LED, that makes it sound more impressive than it is. It was like an image of a spaceship with lights on it. That it wasn't like an iPad. This was 2002, right? But it lit up, and I looked a twat. But in 2002, I thought it was pretty cool for about 20 minutes. That's how that went. Vans are making brightly coloured shoes. I haven't looked at Skechers for Men, really. Nor can I type it, apparently. Yeah, it's all blues and greys, browns, beige, but I'll look at Vans in a bit. Skechers want to know my location. They cough. Hi Sam, how you doing? Right, Bye asked, do I still watch Star Trek? Yeah, of course I do. Absolutely. Why would I stop? I don't like a lot of the new Star Trek, but I don't have to watch that. It's alright. And if other people like it, that's fine. Those people are morons, obviously. But if other people like it, that's fine. Well, you started getting into the original series. It's tricky, but you can do it, right? You just have to. The way I do it is I forgive a lot with the original series. I know a lot of it looks kind of crap. I know a lot of it's kind of silly, right? I know it is. But if you view it as a product of its time, if you view it as, they were doing what they were trying to do with no money whatsoever and being punished by the network and all this kind of thing, and with no one else doing anything like it, you just have to work through it in a kind of, well, I get what they were trying to do. I get what this would look like if they made it now. And just go, well, it was the 60s, man. That was it. And then you can get into it. There's some great moments. There's some great times. There's some great acting and some great performances in that show. It is not all silly. And there's some very important, pivotal socio-political stuff in there and all kinds of things. Uhura is such an important character in television and, American history. I think she's that level, right? There's so many things. God, there was a time when Nichelle Nichols was gonna leave the show, and Martin Luther King told her not to because she was too important. That was the thing, So it's I can't, it's not an easy TV show to dismiss. It's like really important, and so yeah, some of it's silly. I watched Spock's Brain in season 3, which is the silliest of all the silly bits. But you know, yeah, it's and even that it's not. There is some casual sexism, but really not a lot for its time. I'm not excusing what there is, but hi Alexandra. I'm holding up okay. The world is collapsing down around me, but I'm just laughing maniacally at it. I think that's the best way forward. But do I watch Star Trek still? Yeah. How can you not? And it's on TV all the time, right? You've got me on Star Trek now. You've got 4 great shows. You've got the original series. You've got Next Gen, DS9. I'll even give you Voyager. Enterprise, the best season 1 of any of the Star Treks is Enterprise. Great season 1. Even Next Gen season 1 is shaky. It's touch and go at best, right? The animated series is pretty good for what it is. Then all the new stuff. I kind of like Discovery season 1. Picard season 3 was fucking incredible. That was just amazing. And I haven't watched any of the rest of it at all. None of it has interested me in the slightest. Oh no, that's a lie. I watched Some Strange New Worlds and I didn't hate that. I just didn't watch more of it. It just didn't pull me in. But I have Paramount Plus now, so I might. There's a possibility that that might happen at some point, but that's about it. I kind of miss talking about Star Trek, but there's not as much. I've said all I need to say about Star Trek. There's nothing else to do. I don't. If we brought Make It So back, I don't know what I'd want to talk about because I've got. It would mean watching all the new Star Trek, and even the new movies happened since we did that podcast. All of them. Give me a psychological thriller every time, says Sam. Yeah, I like all kinds of things. I am not set on any one thing at all. There's too many good things out there. Do you know what? I kind of need to watch Pulp Fiction again, and we only watched it like at the weekend. That's that is one. In fact, all the 90s stuff. We just release all the 90s movies again. Well, we kind of are. We're just rebooting them. I'm on a 90s thing at the moment. Now that is a fucking film. Like, there's so many moments in that film. It's just so good. It's just so good. This is what makes I keep meaning to drink. This is what makes me want to do movies you should see again. And I was thinking about that. There's so many of those we did that I wouldn't want to watch those films again. God, there were so many that don't stand up. God, there's still. What do we do? Sexy Beast, The Great Escape, Miller's Cry. Actually, no, they're all pretty good. Never mind. Yeah, Strange New Worlds. It was okay. It was alright. I had to jump through hoops to see it. Because I had to sort of download it off BitTorrent because it was on Paramount Plus. Um, and it wasn't, even though that was pretty easy, I didn't care. I didn't care at all. It wasn't good enough to go through any hassle to watch whatsoever. I did like Stranger Things. Sam, yes, that was the thing. Which that all that music that was playing before my live stream was very Stranger Things. I don't know where it comes from. But it's oh hi TikTok. Yeah, I did like Stranger Things. We're very mental healthy tonight, aren't we? This is all the BPD NPD stuff, isn't it? So, I did have an idea. I'll share. I'll. Can I share an idea with you? We'll share it out loud. And maybe right, because I've not said this idea out loud yet, and usually ideas sink or swim on being said out loud. This is the thing. So I had an idea for a different channel, right? And this was actually one of my ideas that I had before I started doing all the BPD NPD stuff. Sort of 3 years ago, and I'm not sure entirely how I'd do it. I think it's the sort of thing I could do on my own, which is probably how I'd at least have to start. But it was an idea for a different thing. I'll share this idea with you now because it kind of fits in to early morning barking a little bit. Tiny, there's a tenuous link. And it kind of, the reason why this idea has stuck with me is because it feels like the opposite of what I'm doing at the moment. It's something along the lines of, and you wouldn't call it this, maybe you would, a sort of things to look forward to thing, show, podcast, YouTube channel, whatever, of kind of like upcoming things like movies, TV shows, whatever, literally anything that are a source of like excitement and positivity and something to look forward to. And in actual fact, the thing I thought about doing most of all was maybe trying to get other people to be on it that were excited for something that I knew nothing about. I'm interested, right? Because I have my things that I get excited about, right? And some of them are very common and not just me. Well, none of them are just me, but you know, some of them are. You've got your classic stuff like new TV show coming out or a particular movie coming out that becomes, you know, that we're all excited for. And then you have other things that are a bit niche. Well, I get excited for Grand Prix, Formula One stuff. That's not too niche, but it's a thing, you know. That's there's lots of people who know nothing about that. And then there's stuff uh, like the Apple event today. I super geek out over Apple stuff, and that's my things. And it kind of makes, you know, it reminds me that there's tons of other crazy shit out in the world that people get excited about that I know nothing about. And it, in a time when, in a world when everything is fucking miserable and everything is mental health and feeling down and fucking BPD and all this shit, it just always stuck with me as an idea. I need to close the window, it's very hot in here. It just always stuck with me as a fun idea to do something that just talks about something to look forward to, whatever the fuck it is. And the weirder and crazier, the more fun that might be. It can, and so that's the sort of thing I can sort of do on my own a bit, but it would be far more interesting with other people. And getting a bunch of neurodivergent people to explain their special interest. Christine, that's fucking genius. Yeah, something like that. Because we all have a thing. Um, you know, and I'm always fascinated by people and what makes people tick and what gets people excited and this sort of thing. I find it very interesting because it's all so different from me, and I have my things that some people will look at and think are weird and other people get and that sort of thing. So you feel I'd be more enthusiastic about that. It is a thing. I'm enthusiastic about whatever I'm doing, right? I'm still enthusiastic about doing BPD NPD stuff. Where I'm struggling with it is that it's becoming a bit difficult at the moment. I'm struggling with lots of things with it, right? But actually doing it, being interested in it, being part of it, and talking about it a lot, and helping people, and indeed talking through my own experiences, um, as I have them, is really good. Is really helpful, and I am still totally enthusiastic about that. But sometimes it does wear thin. It just gets a bit dour, you know? It would be nice to just do something a bit more upbeat and a bit more bright. Um, and just talk about, hey, this thing's coming out. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait for this thing. Or I'm going here and doing this thing. And that sort of thing. Um, I guess ideally it's the sort of project that, you know, in the long term you'd want to like go out into the world and meet people and see people doing their thing and all that kind of stuff. But whatever. I need stuff that's fairly. You see the grandeur. This is right. It builds up and up and up until it's like a Netflix series. Um, And so I need to keep things fairly grounded and do what I can do, which is some version of this, let's be honest. Right? With the resources and time and energy I've got, it's some version of this. Um but yeah, I do want to do something more positive. And that's one of the ideas. And it's just a bit more, it gives scope to talk about pretty much anything, which is an important thing. Um, even because I'm still fairly keyed into the idea of a movie thing, but even that, while that's a good, happy, positive thing, it's still just movies, right? And yeah, there's loads, but it's still just movies. What about other things? I kind of like the idea of it being a lot more vague and a lot more open, and that drags you into the, well, let's find something weird and interesting then, which, I we'll see how that concept goes. But yeah, I don't know. It needs more planning. It needs more thought to it in the way it's done. Um, you know, but that's just an idea. There are many ideas circling the airport, and one of them will come into land. It's an idea port. There's many ideas circling the idea port. One of them will be called into land by brain traffic control. Somebody just put an end to it. And then I'll make something. That'll be a thing. But I don't want to stop doing this. I've not lost any enthusiasm for this. I am frustrated to fuck about it. That is definitely a thing. That's definitely a thing. And I'm reaching a point where I need to sort of start repeating myself with some things, which is going to start irritating me as well. Because I've been doing this a while. How much is there to say about BPD, you know? Even the NPD stuff. What is there to say? Um, Especially when you're trying to bang out so much content. You know, I'd rather talk to you guys and try and solve your problems. You know, that would be a far more interesting thing. Um, that's how I'd rather it worked, or at least talk it through, some sort of support thing, whatever. Um, I always intended to do live calls for this, but I couldn't. Right, we couldn't get everybody into the Discord. The Discord's still not set up and working, which is an annoying thing. Otherwise, I don't know how we'd do it. Because I don't want to be just like open to the internet to have anyone who wanted able to call in, you know. But that's what, yeah, this is the community, the live community, the very, 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 very small live community. And a couple of people on TikTok. Hello, people on TikTok. I missed you there. I missed you there. Hello, how are you doing? BPD is the same as EUPD. How can you have both at the same time? Ring the bell. My god, yeah. I'm over on YouTube. Sorry. You're sort of a secondary camera thing going on here. I do apologize, TikTok people. But if you come on over to YouTube / early morning barking, then you'll see me. Hello, YouTube. Sorry, I was talking to TikTok there briefly. That was the thing. I guess we are a bit of a community. It's coming together, isn't it? I feel like it's taking its time, though. I really do feel like it's taking its time. Yeah, you see it, don't you, Sam? You see it come up over and over. Over and over and over. And I don't know. let's be diplomatic about this. Let's do the therapy version of this, right? Let's not do the NPD version of this. Let's do the therapy version of this. The therapy version of this is they don't know. And regardless of how many times we've been asked, it's not fair to make fun of people or be annoyed by them for asking. And so the job is to educate, right? They've asked a question. We can tell them what the answer is to the question as much as possible. It does get annoying, but they don't know. They haven't asked the question over and over again. They've only asked it once. So getting upset at an individual is unfair. Getting frustrated with the phenomenon is more reasonable. And the way to deal with that as much as possible, I think, is to have videos available that they can watch. Try and get that information out there. But it is annoying as fuck. It really is. It really, really, really is. I might get a t-shirt with, yes, you can have both NPD and BPD at the same time. Right? And then I could just wear that. And the other, right, that said, 9 times out of 10, the most frustrating thing with it is the confrontation that comes with it. Some people ask, but most people tell. Like, you can't have those. It comes in an accusory way. It's confrontational, and people are coming for an argument. And I can't be bothered to have that argument again. Because it's... They could just Google it. But they've decided. They know. Right? They've... Because if they looked, they would see that they were wrong. So we know they haven't looked. Or they're being willfully ignorant. And I can't educate those people. Because they don't want to hear from me. Right? I can say the thing. Like, but they don't want to hear from me. So they just want to shout at me. Really. It's just one of those. That's the thing. Do I say that a lot? Yeah, I do, don't I? I do that. I'm supposed to be able to promote live stuff on merch on live streams. I do have... let's promote the merch store again. Promote the merch store. Here we go. We're promoting the merch store. Once more. Into the merch, dear friends. That's a shit page. Oh, there we go. That's it's all just a trauma response sticker. Available in transparent and matte and glossy. In small and medium sizes. That's quite big to me, actually, 14 by 14, but that's the thing. All at red, but well, I don't even know what my thing is. What's the early morning but redbubble.com/people/early barking. No wonder no one can find it. No one can find it. The do it tomorrow sunshine sticker. That's the thing. The romantic obsession. The I throw tantrums. The it's a BPD. What are you doing now? What's that? Never mind. We have wall art, apparently. I didn't realize I checked that, but you can get that as a board print. Probably don't want that. What's in the home and living? Mugs! Mugs with do it tomorrow written on. Coasters with nothing on. Why did you give me the button? Accessories. I kind of need a desk mat, but they're expensive. They're all... Just get the stickers. The stickers are good, you know, here actually. They're the only things I advocate you getting, is get the stickers. I have got a link tree. If you go to earlymorningbarking.com, boom. It's kind of... Isn't it not on the screen? It's not right now. It has been scrolling past. There we go. Find links to everything I make at earlymorningbarking.com. But that's my link tree. It has everything on. You can book one-to-one sessions, things like that. Patreon, TikTok, blog channel, podcast. Did you know there was a podcast? There's an Early Morning Barking podcast. That's a thing. My Facebook, my Instagram. I was even told put on my Amazon wish list, but no one's bought me an Xbox yet. Redbubble merch, there it is. I still need to get me an Early Morning Barking t-shirt. What did I just press? There we go. I still need to get one of these, maybe in yellow. I think that's clearly the way of doing it. Anyway, is that some mental health stuff going off? Should we do a thing? Let's talk. Can you ask a loaded question? Bye-bye. Ask away. My mum used to let my next door neighbour into my house when we were kids without asking my permission, even after we had friendship ruining rows. Can you tell him I'm sorry and then she'd let him in? He used to come over on the daily when I told him he was invading my personal space, some sexual abuse. Okay. How do I avoid taking this out on my partner? Right, well, I mean, right. Yeah. That's a therapy thing. I'm so sorry. That is horrible. But yeah, dude, that's therapy level stuff, I'm afraid. That's a bit beyond my range of expertise. I don't know. I mean, I would hope that within a relationship, you know, you'd be able to share that with a partner. But I don't know. I'm not saying anything because I have no personal experience with that kind of event at all. And I'm definitely not a therapist. But you have my greatest sympathy with that. That is horrible. Yeah. Unsealed triggers resurface. Yeah, this is very true. Unhealed triggers. Yeah. Yeah, this is what therapy's for. I'm afraid. It's I don't know. We're into the definitely into an area that I'd be responsible if I said I could help you with that. That's not a me thing. Uh you know, but you are seeing a therapist. That's the right thing to be doing, I think. That's the right thing to be doing because a therapist will be able to help you with that, and they're there to help you work through trauma and that kind of thing. And to be fair, even if I was like the greatest therapist in the world, if I was Dr. Fraser Crane sat here, the actual greatest therapist in the world, Dr. Fraser Crane, all my advice boils down to sound bites, to snippets, to little bits of video. to something I can discuss one way over a YouTube live stream. And, you know, that immediately prevents you from dealing with much, doesn't it? You know, there's, in fact, I'm sure that's the plot of an episode of Frasier. Uh, there's only so much help you can give someone in a little, like, YouTube live stream thing, especially when you're talking about stuff that requires, like, months, years, therapy, that kind of thing. But, you know, if what you're saying, Sam, is being here and listening is enough, then I can do that. But that's all I can do. I'm afraid. I wish I could do more. I, you know, like I say, I don't think even a therapist is doing much on a YouTube live stream. This is why you have therapy sessions, I guess. Otherwise, they'd just be like putting out fires all over the place. For significantly less money. So that's the thing. Gosh, 6 of you listening away on TikTok. Bless you. Bless you. Are you? Oh gosh, right. Are you all still there? You are asking, right? You think your two disorders contradict each other? Yeah, they do sometimes. Sometimes they absolutely do contradict each other. Sometimes they complement each other. Sometimes they egg each other on, and sometimes they cancel each other out entirely. It depends on so many factors. Best thing to do. I've made several YouTube videos on the subject. And that's probably the best place to start, to be honest. Again, it's not something with a quick answer, I'm afraid. I need to do a quick answers BPD video. Oh, right, yeah. Hang on. Write this down. Pen, notebook. Oh, post-its, please. Have neon post-its, that's the thing. The post-its never deserted me. I'm going to run out of... yeah. Rach on TikTok, yeah, come and find my YouTube, because there's lots more people there chatting away. Actually, no, there aren't more people there, but they're chatting away anyway. Everybody there on TikTok, come on over to YouTube. Early morning barking. Catch you later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. You know what you're doing with that. Hi, Isabel. Welcome back to the live. It's good to see you. Yeah, BPD quick answers. We can do it like the questions that come up all the time in really quick form. TikToks aren't good for that. Sometimes they can be. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out something interesting to do with TikTok, because every time I stray from the formula, I pay the price in terms of views. It's all been in the toilet recently, and it's because I think I've not been making videos like the ones that did really well. And it's because the ones that did really well are really fucking depressing to make. Because you have to sit there and tap into all of the bad feeling about BPD and all of the sadness and make all the other people sad, and then they see it and they like it and they interact with it because they're sad and they send it to their friends and all of that. And it does really well in terms of views, but it's not interesting to me at all on any level. So I still need to figure out what the appropriate thing is to do with TikTok. I carry on making stuff regardless. Because what else am I going to do, quite frankly? I've lost the page I was on. Pain is a funny thing. Yes, it is, Isabel. It is. And you can only play so much Zelda. You say that, but, you know, there's so much Zelda to play. That's the thing. There's so much Zelda to play. And it continues to be fun and exciting and continuous forever and ever. And I just have to keep playing it because that's how that goes. That's just how that goes. Um, and it's amazing. It's such a good game. It is such a good game. I don't know what to tell you. Well, other than that, it's such a good game. That's what I've got to tell you. Pain is weakness leaving the body. Is it though? Sometimes pain is just pain. You know? Sometimes pain is my lower back. And that isn't weakness leaving the body. That is just being 44 years old. Am I still 44 years old? I've kind of forgotten. But yeah, no, I think your son is right, Sam. There's so much Zelda to play. There's just so much Zelda to play. It's so good. It's so good. I'm kind of disappointed that I'm here now talking to you guys, really, you know. How do I experience shame? Like when you see someone you know you're wrong, and all you do is all you can do is hide your face and hang your head. I experience shame very much like everybody else experiences shame. Right, for me that is one of the right. I don't have the NPD lack of empathy, the lack of shame thing. I don't have that. I have the immense shame, which is what one of the times that the BPD and the NPD fight each other. Right. My NPD wants me to be far more evil than my BPD will allow it. And it brings on that shame and that empathy. And I end up thinking and planning awful things. And all the classic narcissistic stuff, right? Where if I didn't have that empathy, if I didn't have that barrier that reminds me, if I do this thing, then people will feel bad and I will feel guilty and I will feel how they feel and all of this. I can totally see how if I didn't have that mechanism, I would do all the fucked up narcissistic shit quite happily because it all gets formulated in my brain. It all gets added together and mixed up and it's ready to go. But it's rarely deployed because of that guilt and that shame that I know is coming. So in a sense, that is one of those times where the BPD can, you know, prevent the nastier NPD stuff. Certainly when there's like, you know, time involved and there's time to think about things. I'm far more ragey and spontaneous than the spur of the moment, but you know that's one of those things. So I do have shame. I do have guilt. I do have empathy. I really do have guilt. A lot of guilt. Um and so it really, you know, it prevents that from happening. This is why I make the daywalker joke. It's like I know about the feeling of wanting to drink blood. I just don't have to do it. That's that's what it feels like. It's that thing. Like it all gets put together, and then that shame, that guilt, comes out and stops me. And it's that conversation that I've had a million times, where I say, "Well, why can't I just solve this problem by doing that?" And someone will look at me and go, because you're actually a nicer person than that. And I'll be like, I know, fuck you. Damn it. It happens a lot. Like, if I could sink to the level my mind wants me to sink to, I could get away with some fucked up shit. Probably. Maybe. I don't know. That's how that goes anyway. You're right though, Isabel. BPD can still do some terrible things. They can smear, rage, etc., and just feel bad later. That's totally a thing. And indeed, I have done that at points. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I have kind of. Have I smeared? Yeah, I have. It's all very like younger, more immature stuff. Times in my life, not a recent thing or anything like that, but I don't know because the NPD will do those things as well. So it's difficult with me to know what it is. Sometimes, look, it's not a total failsafe. I have done and said some fucked up shit over the years, regardless of the guilt and shame. Right? I've had to do enough of it to understand that I can't get over that guilt and shame, that guilt and shame always comes, regardless of how much I wanted to do it. I think it's morals. I think that's what it is that does it. Thanks for the follow. I think it's the was that a Twitch follow that we all just saw? It was. Okay. Not live on Twitch right now. That totally threw me. Anyway. So yeah, it's guilt and shame. I totally have those. I totally have those. It's a BPD NPD thing, possibly. Or I don't know. At least right, because you could have any combination of the markers. But I don't have the NPD lack of empathy. Annoyingly enough. I'd be capable of so much more if I could just become evil. That I would love that. I would love that, but I can't. Do I find it hard to move on from my past? In what way do you mean? What part of my past? Relationships, things I've done, things I've said. What kind of thing? I can find it. It varies. It truly varies from thing to thing. There's stuff I won't care about and I've just totally forgotten about, you know. There's other stuff that haunts me. I guess that's pretty normal in that sense, you know. Oh, something that's caused me trauma. Yeah. Yeah, there's stuff I struggle to move past. Or that I struggle to move past it affecting me in some way. Some of it's a bit too personal to go into, but yeah, there is stuff that like it's still affecting me. It's still all, you know, there is a present day effect of things that I've been through. And so yeah, there's stuff I have trouble moving on from. I'm working on it, you know, but it's definitely still a thing. Do I discard and devalue? Totally can do that. Totally can do that. Yeah, I can totally dehumanize somebody. The whole process can be slow. It can happen in the blink of an eye. When you go from being great, it's it's very similar to splitting. It's very similar. Splitting is usually pretty quick. There is usually a moment, a breaking point. And the discard and devalue can be a much more conscious thing, I think. But they're very, very close to each other. Those two things, extremely close to each other. And I would imagine that they can look identical from the outside. You know, there's not going to be much in it in terms of difference for those two. So, um, yeah, I totally discard and devalue. Totally. Um, and it can help you get that as a mechanism in itself can help you get over things, right? As an example, that relationship, it's easier to get over that girl if she was rubbish. Actually, I mean that's what that is. Like I didn't want her anyway. Who wants to be with her? She's ugly. She's gross. She smells. Whatever. You know. It devaluing things. I didn't want that car. That was a piece of shit. Stupid game. That's why I'm not playing it. All of these things, devaluing things, um, is such a defense mechanism. It. I find it difficult to say it without it sounding like a petulant, childish thing. Right? You can't say it as an adult. You can't say it out loud. Like, oh, I didn't want that anyway. Do you know what you sound like when you say that? You sound like a 5-year-old, right? And yeah, I can do it, but I don't drop it like that because that is just awful, you know. Hi there on TikTok. We're over on YouTube if you want to come and join us. Oh, don't want to do that. I have BPD and my dad has NPD. We get on better in adulthood. It's easier to do. I get on with my parents better now. Well, with my dad better specifically. I don't know if he's calmed down or if I've calmed down or what. Or if it's just down to the limited time we spend in each other's company at any given meeting. I'm not entirely sure. It's one of those things. Um, you know, parents are a tricky one. Parents are definitely a tricky one. Um, and I had one of those childhoods that I didn't know how fucked up it was until I was an adult. You know, that was one of those things. Some stuff I'm still learning, but most of it came out in therapy. Most of it came out in therapy. Certainly the first year was about that. A lot of childhood stuff, that kind of thing. No contact with your parents for 3 months now. I've gone through longer than that with my dad. I think there was a sort of 6 to 8 month period. You know, where I just didn't. We'd had a big fallout. I can't even remember what that was about now. Seems silly, really. This will sound bad, right? Isabel's saying, this will sound bad, but I saw my ex coming out of a pub right by my home with a large lady. He looked terrible, and when he saw me, he looked scared, and then he started to drop down his head in fear and shame and wouldn't look at me. I felt so happy he was in pain. That's a perfectly valid feeling. That's a perfectly valid feeling. I get it. I've had exes I've wanted to see in pain, and that sort of thing. I totally get it. I wanted to push him into the road as we crossed the road. Oh, you have a need for revenge. Oh, I see. Ah, right. That is definitely a need. Right. No need to go into that, though, Isabel. That's fine. Hi, everyone on TikTok. We're over on YouTube. That's where I'm mainly there, but I keep looking back on over to you. Hi, Coco Bear. I do have a video on YouTube of relationship tips. Go and give that a watch. There's a link in my bio, my YouTube. Lorna, hi there. Good to see you. Sorry, just running multiple video streams here. Just one of those things. I still wish I could see a YouTube TikTok unified thing, but TikTok are very enclosed with the way they do their thing. And it's difficult to sort of stream to both at the same time. To say the least. Oh, actually, I have 2 cameras set up here. I bet I could do that. I won't mess around with it now, though. The thing with revenge, right? The thing with the revenge is it actually doesn't get you anywhere. And I mean, yeah, let's have an entire debate about revenge. It really doesn't get you anywhere, right? It's not your, I don't know, not your place, not your responsibility to teach someone a lesson. Why do it? Is what I think. Like, why do it? Because everything in your life is more important than that other person, that old person, right? Why waste, right? So, like, just imagine you've had a bad relationship. When it's over, you just need to move on from that. You need not another day of your life to be taken up by that shit relationship. You need to be moving on. Every day needs to be about moving forward, positive growth, that sort of thing. And spending time trying to get revenge is worthless. Absolutely worthless. And I've reached a point where I feel like if somebody has behaved in a way or done something that would once have warranted my getting a revenge on them, then they're beneath me and do not deserve my revenge. You know, I agree with you, Isabel. There's no excuse to hurt innocent people, and he's not innocent. There's no reason to do anything to anyone. There's no reason. It's what I think about all of the look. How many videos do we see of 6 ways to get revenge on a narcissist or something like that? Right? And the thing I always say to people about that is, as the narcissist, do you think we give a fuck about you? Do you think we're looking up 6 ways to get back at your ex? Because we're not. We've already forgotten and moved on. We don't care. We're living rent free in your brain, but we aren't thinking about you. The royal you, not you, Isabel. And I think that's the best way to be post relationship, right? If this person has done something criminal or illegal, then first of all, that's not your responsibility. That's not how society functions for you to deal with that. If someone's done something criminal, you report them to the proper authorities, whatever. There are ways of dealing with that. It's not for you to do. And if you just want to get back at someone because they hurt you once, you're better than that. You're better than that. You don't need to do that. You need to get on with your life. The best form of revenge is success. It's not necessarily easy. You know, like, it's all well and good me saying, well, you need some success then. You know. But hurting people back doesn't get you anything. Success without them. That's it. Right? And I'm not even looking at this from the moral perspective. Oh, it's wrong to get revenge. It's wrong to yeah. That's true. Yeah, fine, whatever. I'm just talking about this from the perfectly selfish point of view, right? What do you get out of it? And the answer is ultimately nothing. It's actually worse than that, because maybe you get trouble out of it. Maybe there are repercussions for whatever you do to get revenge, right? And feeling a sense of justice. Really? By hurting someone? It's not. No. That's not really a thing. If you go around hurting people, you deserve what you get. And are you the instrument of that? Are you what somebody deserves? Because that's ridiculous. Right? What do you deserve? And in hurting people as revenge, are you not also hurting somebody? Are you not, does it not count if you do it in return? Is that a thing? Does it not count if you do it? Because that's bollocks as well. Right? An eye for an eye, etc. This is the thing. Revenge, getting angry at people, getting upset at people, it's not worth it on any level. It's just not. This is something I've come to learn. It took me a long time to get to this point. It took me a very long time to get to this point. To realize that it's never in your benefit to get angry. Maybe at most as some sort of motivational tool or some shit like that, right? But it's not worth anything to me to ever be angry at somebody. Why? I can be hurt by someone, but if they hurt me, I'm just going away from them. I'm just not going to stick around, you know? I don't need them to live rent free in my mind. Like apparently I do in so many people's minds. I wish I could live rent free in this house. That would solve some problems. Not many though. I have to buy food and that. By the way, there's a super chat button on the video, everybody watching live. That's always greatly appreciated if you can press it. It does change the colour of my lights. Really does. If you don't believe me, there's one surefire way to find out. Everyone on TikTok, come on over to YouTube, send me a super chat, change the colour of my lights. I promise you, it's this one up here. It will go a different colour with a super chat. What, where? Teach you, let's show you. I am very philosophical. And it's what gets you places, I guess. I'm going to show you in a minute, Sam. Bear with me. So this might, I'll try and we'll mute it because this is us now, right? And your super chat button is this one here. Here on the chat, over here, there's a little add reaction, and there's a super chat button, and you can join for membership and get videos that are up there for just members. I need to do some more, including my ASMR videos, of which there will be more because I kind of like doing one. Or you can send a super chat, which is a highlighted message. And you do that, and then you press how much you want to send. So you can send me like £500, something like that, and then you hit buy and send, and it sends it to me, and then it changes the color of the lights in the room in here. That is a thing, I swear to God. But it's there, the little super chat button. Show support for early morning barking. You can send a super sticker. I don't know what they do. Oh, right, okay. That's the thing. I do say that a lot. Oh, super chat. There, hide chat. Oh, no, I want to show the chat. I've crashed it now. Or membership. What happens when you press membership? There we go. The Paisley package or the Barclay package. Access to living with BPD and NPD course videos. That's the one. That's how you do it. Hi guys, how you doing? I hope you're feeling alright today. So that's how you do it. Do you want me to show you big? Was that big enough? Hang on. There we go. We've gone full screen. It's in the chat here. That's the button, and he brings up this, and we send a super chat. There you go. That's YouTube for you. That's YouTube for you. I have to turn that off now. Did you see the Apple stream earlier with the headset? Gonna need one of those somehow. So send the old super chats. It's how I live, so it's always appreciated. I have to mention it, otherwise people say I never mention it. And I'm very serious, it really does change the colour of the lights in the room. Because we live in the future now. Oh gosh, just scrolling through the TikTok chat. Thank you, Lorna. Let's see. Hi, Megan. Asking the question, what raised the possibility of BPD for me? I was already in therapy at the time. And so it sort of just became clear that all the things that they were saying were wrong with me was this description of BPD and NPD. And so you end up like with letters full of description. Oh, Richard does this and he does this and he does that and thinks blah blah blah, all this other stuff. And yeah, eventually you just realize, oh, I have BPD, and this is a thing. It's quite an odd one, to be perfectly honest. It's quite an odd one. Anyway, I do need to there's a mix of stuff on my membership. Caitlin Ring, bless you, honey. Watch, here we go. Any minute now, it's gonna happen. Green. Hi, Katie Forbes, came from TikTok. Good to see you. Thank you for making the trip over here. Told you, lights change on super chats. Yeah. That's how you do that. And you get a barking thing in the corner here. There. That's how that works. That's how we do things around here. That's how you do super chats. You have barking noises and coloured lights. We just need to give people more of a reason to do it more often, I think. It's a good reason. I'm not sure. Helping me out. There's a good reason. Allowing my channel to continue. There's another good reason. That's the thing. So super chats, they're all good. They're all good. And we've already talked about my link tree tonight, haven't we? I could do with like a thing that, like an animation that pops up on the screen every so often and reminds you, or distracts and irritates you. One or the other. Are they the same thing? Quite possibly. Hi there on TikTok. Coming over to YouTube. It's where we're hanging out. There's no dog tonight, I'm afraid. There's no dog this evening. Otherwise, he'd be on the live stream with me. As usual. That's how these things go. But But yeah, the membership area on YouTube and Patreon, they're both the same. And I've got some more stuff to go up on there. The super chat worked. Lost my frame of mind. Now there it is. I've been doing some other stuff on there. I've got more stuff to go up on there actually for a bit. And I'm quite liking it. I've got some more ideas. I might pilot some stuff on there, right, and see how it goes. Because I can put anything up on Patreon, and it doesn't matter how well it does. It doesn't really matter how well it does on YouTube, if I'm honest. But I like there to be some value on that Patreon and the member. And when I say the Patreon, the YouTube membership is the same thing. Anyway, Katie's asking, have you found therapy on the NHS or privately? I got therapy through the NHS. It was very difficult to get. My therapy was group therapy, which obviously you need a group being run in your area, which I'm told is not a common thing. And I happen to be in the right place at the right time. That doesn't mean to say that you can't get treatment or anything like that, or that what I did is the only treatment or the best treatment for you, etc., etc. So it's still important that you go into the system, that you speak to your GP, that you try and go through it if you can, I would say. Don't dismiss it based on other people's experiences. You know, I think I do think one-to-one therapy is a possibility. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not an expert on that. You know, but that I got mine through the NHS. It is a possibility. It can happen. I don't know what perfect storm of events you need to occur to make it happen. But it is a thing that can occur. And I'm still surprised that it went on as long as it did. You know, I expected it to be sort of 6 to 8 weeks when I started. I was ready for them to. They wouldn't talk about the end time when we were doing it. It was a long time before we all accepted that sort of it would go on as long as we needed it to. And that time would be different for all of us. You know, we all left at different times. You started thinking, you know, this will be 12 weeks. There will be a finishing day, and we'll all sort of graduate on that day. Can someone please change my lights away from green as well, by the way? This is just horrible in here. We all thought there'd be a different, you know, the one finishing day, and we'd all go for a drink or go out and party or something and be like, hey, we're all happy, fixed, non-mentally ill people now. And that wasn't how it worked at all. But it was all on the NHS. I was very lucky in that respect. Getting ADHD treatment is going to prove far more complex, I think. But I'm, you know, still have to put myself in the system, still have to go through it, still have to try it, still have to keep it up, because you never know what will happen, you know. And also going private isn't really an opportunity, you know, isn't really an option at the moment, to be perfectly honest. So that's the thing. So then, without further ado, I'm going to call time on tonight's live, which was a lot of fun, by the way. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for turning up. It's been an absolute delight. And thank you, everybody, on TikTok. There were quite a few of you at one point. Thank you to all the new people who subscribed and changing my coloured lights and all of that. I hope you're well. There's going to be quite a few lives on various platforms over the next week. Make sure you subscribe to me on Twitter. That's the best place to do it. But also on here, turn on alerts on the channel. TikTok as well. I might try an Instagram live. I'm tempted to do that. I've never done one before. And that's this week. But until then, you know, watch out for other videos. It's all going to be around. Earlymorningbarking.com. Don't forget for all my links to everything. And there's lots of stuff that you won't have heard yet. You take care. I'll see you all